Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Holt. This is another segment of the Daily Tirade. A bunch of different things. Gosh, it's hard not to be upset these days just if you're paying attention. And I think that's why so many people don't pay attention or aren't, because they just don't want to be upset. Very understandable. First thing today, 12-year-old black kid, C.J. Pearson. That's at cjpearson.org. This kid has a YouTube video. And basically this kid called President Obama on the carpet for Obama getting up and discussing the South Carolina shootings of the folks in that church and bringing gun control into the issue. This is a 12-year-old kid, incredibly poised. It's all off the top of his head. And he calls Obama everything that he is. He calls him a liar, basically, and he calls him a disgrace. And he criticizes him for what he did and how he did it. And he's 12 years old. The people in the Congress of this country, the senators and congressmen of this country, should pay attention to this 12-year-old kid and hope to aspire to be as good at what they do and how they behave, basically on how this 12-year-old boy put together his thoughts and comments on what the president of this country did. Again, the kid's name is C.J. Pearson. You can find him at cjpearson.org, and he's on YouTube. It's a pretty amazing video for a 12-year-old kid. Second and third thing today, ISIS and Iran. There was an article this morning. It's really simple. The president still doesn't have a plan for ISIS. They're growing like a cancer. They're beheading people. They're attacking people worldwide. We're not doing what we could to just destroy them. And then the biggest thing that Obama's worried about is his deal with Iran for a nuclear deal. And they're still chanting in their house of government the other day, death to America, while they're voting on not letting any inspections of the military or conversations with their scientists. This man is still, in my opinion, giving aid and comfort to the enemy. I think he's committing treason by what he's doing in placing this country in danger by not protecting us. And again, we're talking about congressmen and senators that just keep their mouths shut to cover their political ass, that put us in danger, because this man has all the tools and everything necessary to put a stop to this, and he doesn't want to do it. He's worried about his deal with Iran. Number four, there's lately a big thing going on with Senator Ted Cruz. And the pictures that I read online have a picture of a gun pointing towards his head. And the media is making comments about this stuff. And I don't care what they say. I really haven't read it, other than the fact that they would make comments about this stuff. It's a picture hanging on a wall in the background when the guy gave a speech. But leave it to the media to crop that picture, or it just shows the gun and the guy's head. You know, in most places that would be a joke that somebody would put online, where someone stands in just the right place to make something that was funny or humorous, out of a side picture. And the media makes this, worldwide attention. They're as big an enemy as Obama is, because they no longer speak the truth. They no longer report what's going on. They just say what they're told to say. Benghazi is a real good example. The next thing is they're doing the Obama TPA, the traffic trade agreement with Obama, and they stopped it the first time. The Democrats stopped it. And I'm suggesting that they stop it again. Everyone stopped it, including the Republicans. I don't care what it is. You don't give Obama anything. Until the day that SOB walks out of office, you don't give him anything. He can't be trusted. The man is a liar. The man is a I don't know what you would call him for breaking the laws of this country. I would call him a criminal. But the Congress is afraid to try him. The Senate and the Congress are afraid to bring charges against this man for literally breaking the laws of this country. And I don't care what he puts up. I will give him nothing, absolutely nothing. He cannot be trusted. If this guy gets authority to be able to do things through an act, he's going to do something that we don't like. You can bet your sweet butt on it. He's untrustworthy. He's a liar. He's a disgrace to this country. And I don't care who causes him to not get what he wants. Giving this man anything hurts this country. He will find a way to make us pay for doing anything. Even if it might be a good thing, then we'll wait till the next president come in. He's not the guy to give the go-ahead or the authority to do anything in this country. Okay, and I forgot, the main reason probably for these tirades is gas and oil, the price we're paying and what it does to the economy of this country, and that we stand no chance in getting anything improved for the everyday man as long as Congress, Wall Street, I understand the bond markets now, and the oil companies continue to stick it to us. You know, since 2008, gas went from $1 to almost $3, and it stayed up there pretty much, all that time, sometimes higher, and diesel, $4. I have a very, very good friend, and he started listening to these tapes because I asked him to. And the guy understands finance, and the guy, trades on Wall Street. And he spent the last couple of days explaining to me, well, it's not really the Wall Street is doing it, it's the auctions of the bond markets and all this other good stuff, and that gasoline. And he informed me of all this stuff, and I was not aware of it, that the gas and oil is traded on the value of the dollar and not supply and demand. Okay, there you have it, folks. What they've done is they've manipulated the entire system to where and I don't care when it started the manipulation, but trading gasoline on dollars and the value of a dollar versus the supply and demand is pretty much BS. OPEC for 40 years held us captive by telling us this is what the price of oil was today. That wasn't the value of a dollar either. That was supply and demand. As long as the production levels that they put up determined on what they were going to charge us and how much we had to pay for it. Gas should be on supply and demand because of the quantity that we've got. Until it becomes trading, and he has spent his time trying to tell me and giving me documents and giving me charts and giving me all these things to explain to me why oil is where it's at and why they charge that much for it, and based on dollars and all these other things. And the bottom line is, and I guess I can't get that point across to my friend, is that no matter what they're doing or whatever excuse they're making, it's wrong. If gas was $1 in 2008 and now it's $3 or better or close to it still, and it keeps just keeps going up and up, and they won't let it go down, and we have a glut of oil in the world, then this is all a matter of it's greed and nothing but greed. And again, when you go to making millions of dollars per quarter versus billions of dollars per quarter, millions of dollars per year versus billions of dollars per quarter, we're getting screwed. And they're going to find, they're the guys on Wall Street, they're the guys in the bond markets. They're going to find a way to keep this up because they're not worried about the price of gas, because we're paying them from the money they make from us staying quiet. Stay out of ExxonMobil. Don't go into ExxonMobil. Pick one company. I pick ExxonMobil. And if we stay out of there, they'll feel the pinch. They'll feel the crush. And eventually this will come down. And once it does come down, the rest of the companies will know, oil companies, they can never do this to us again. Because you can't trust Wall Street and you can't trust the bond markets, obviously. We're talking about people with money dealing with people with money. And the 99% of the country are the people that feel the pinch and that suffer the consequences. The guy that killed the people in South Carolina in that church, this is really simple, folks. Maybe we need to go back to the days of old. At 12 o'clock, take him out and either hang him or shoot him by firing squad in front of something in City Hall or close to it. There's no question the guy did it. There's no question about his motives. I don't care if he's crazy. The guy did it. There's no reason for this guy to spend the next couple of years going to trial and going to court and spending, millions and millions of dollars. And you bleeding hearts, hey, sorry, this guy killed these people, kill him. You don't got to do all the bull crap. He doesn't have any rights anymore. In my book, they caught him, he knows it, he admitted it, kill him. Get it over with, get it done with, kill him. And now if you'll do that, you'll get some real deterrent to capital crime if you would carry something out instead of waiting 15, 20, 25, 30 years to execute somebody once you convict them. We're going the wrong way here. There's no fear of capital punishment in this country because half of them will die before they get to the execution chamber. We already kind of covered Iran singing, shouting death to America, and then, voting on not letting us have any inspections of military and talking to their scientists. So, and probably the biggest thing for my knowledge and being brought about the awareness was that gas and oil are traded on dollars and not supply and demand. And I've been ranting about the supply and demand, and if it's traded on dollars, then we got a problem because only dollar people are making money on this, and the country is just getting their ass handed to them economically. We will never recover, and we will never have people being able to, have a decent living or not struggle while the gas and oil stays this way because it affects every single thing we buy. Man, I said this other idea that one last thing, it just popped in mind, I didn't write it down before, is the minimum wage of $15. I think minimum wage when I was a kid was like $1.25 or something like that. But the point is that it doesn't make any difference if you give them $15. If you give them $15, the price of bread's going up to $5. Anytime you give these people a minimum wage increase, every market out there, every guy that's selling a product is going to raise the price of that product because the money's available to these people, and getting them a $15 a month raise or an hour raise, giving them $15 minimum wage will not make any difference when the prices go back up. Bread used to be a quarter, but you made $1.75, an hour minimum wage. Now they want to make minimum wage $15. There'll be no more dollar menu at any of these fast food chains. All the prices will go up. And it's insane, but you're trying to feed them to make them happy, and they're going, if I get $15 an hour, I'm going to be happy. You won't be happy when a loaf of bread costs $5. That 25-cent loaf of bread is basically $3 a loaf now, and the loaves are smaller and they contain less bread. And in fact, they're about half the size that a loaf of bread used to be. You can buy the old white bread that wasn't worth anything, and it still cost you $1. And now all the rest of the bread is $2, $3, $4 for a loaf of bread, and they're small little loaves like this. There's no common sense anymore. All of this is run by politics, and everybody wants to give everybody things just to keep them happy and shut them up. It seems to me that nobody paid attention the first time Obama ran for the presidency and then he won, and the second time they paid even less attention. If anybody looks back on any of this stuff and all these groups the man talked to and all the people that support him, he said yes to everybody. I don't care what group they were, he said yes. No matter what they went to him with, he said yes. And again, I'm not the sharpest guy around, but you can't tell everybody yes, and then when it comes time to give them what they wanted, give it to them. And so all these people said, oh, he didn't do this, and he didn't do that, and he didn't do these rights, and he didn't give that to our group, and he didn't support this, and he's against that, and all this other stuff. He told everybody yes, and then everybody didn't get what they wanted. And when he's angry, he turns against Congress. When he's angry, he turns against the Supreme Court. The SOB stands up there and lectures them prior to putting out a ruling of something that's against him. He lectures the Supreme Court. The man's the biggest disgrace that's ever hit this country. He's he's a con man. He's a Chicago con man. The guy smiles at everybody and he gets everybody to agree with him and do what he wants to. And the guy's not worth the weight of a bag of dog crap. I still don't understand the cowardice of the people of this country who are supposed to be our leaders, the Congress, the Senate. Oh, you can't do that, and you hear them give the lip talk, and you see the media put the stuff on there, but no one does anything. He hasn't been charged with anything. He hasn't been charged with breaking the law. They haven't called him on the carpet for anything. It's just all words back and forth. And what the Republican Congress now is doing is basically they're just ducking everything out. All they do is they keep postponing things. They won this last election with this mandate of put us in there, we'll do something. And they said that when they went back in 2010 with the Congress, and they're all talk. They just cover their ass. They say what they need to do to get elected, and then they don't perform. The only people that get hurt when they don't perform is us. And again, here's one for you. Every time the Congress votes on something, or the Senate votes on something, the Senate will get in there and vote, and the Congressman will get in there and vote, and you may not like it, and you may have the urge to call that congressman or that senator, and when you call up, they want to know where you live. If you don't live in their district, they're not going to talk to you. Sorry. And the trouble is that congressman or that senator that made that vote counts towards what's going to happen to me. And what they do is they eliminate 99% of the country from what their vote is because those people don't live in their district. Things need to change. They need to be held responsible. When you get a congressman that'll get in there and just vote for things that are nothing but hurtful to the general public, and the only people he answers to are the people in his district, and that's it, and you can't contact that guy, he don't care what you say. As long as you don't live in his district, he could give a rat's ass. And it shows with all the things they pass and all the things they do because they're centered on just one thing. But what he votes on affects me living in 4 or 5 states away, and it affects you living in 4 or 5 states away. And if you try and talk to these folks, they could give a rat's butt where you live and who you are. If you're not in their district voting, they don't care. That needs to change. That's another thing that will never allow us to have a real say-so in what's going on with these guys. The bad guys are winning, folks. please remember, stay out of Exxon, stay out of Valero. They're the largest refinery in the country, and they stick it to us every time they can. They're probably one of the worst enemies of this economy in this country. Again, thanks for listening if you did. I hope that I've stimulated at least some thought, especially towards gas and oil, because it affects everything we buy and everything that we consume and everything that we have to pay for. The Daily Tirade.